All right, got it. All right. Well, hey everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Sam Jackson. My first title is I'm the Director of Innovation Technology for the Georgia Legacy Group. So I'm the tech director for three of Keller Williams' best offices. No offense, I love mine more than yours, but I have some really awesome market centers in the North Georgia area, just north of Atlanta, and pretty dynamite territory down here. We have one of our three market centers is in the $1 Million Club, $1 Million Market Center. And we help some of the top teams and agents down there with the technology side of things. And then I'm also a MAPS technology coach as well. So I coach not only market center tech trainers like Chris, but I also coach agents as well. So agents that need help with the models and systems and kind of trickling command and technology on top of that. My goal is to really just help people get better at all things tech. Because a lot of times it's just kind of crazy, right? We can't kind of see the trees through the forest because we're so bogged down on what button to push. My number one job is to simplify things. And that's my goal today here is to take this kind of crazy concept that we talk about online leads and make it really, really simple. So with no further ado, I'm going to just go ahead and jump into training. I told you, I kind of warned you before we started the recording, I'm going to be doing some drawing today. And if you want to do this with me, please feel free to take out a blank piece of paper. The first demonstration I'm going to share with you is we're going to talk about the lifeline of a lead. So I think we're going to take 1,000-foot view at this first, and then we're going to get really, really small with them. Okay, but let's start with the lifeline of lead. What I normally do is I just create a starting line. Just draw a line right there. And at the very end, I'm going to draw a line right here. I'm going to create a bullseye. Didn't draw a very, very straight line, and that's pretty much real estate, right? We're going to draw a line that looks like this. This line right here represents the inception of a lead. This is the day that basically, actually, it sounds really crummy to say the inception of a lead, because like, what is a lead? These are people that we work with, people that know us, like us, trust us. These are humans, right? But for the sake of a diagram, this is the inception of a lead. This is whenever someone says, hey, I may potentially have a need to buy, sell, invest in real estate. And then all the way down here is the closing table. This is never a close on a house. Now, what's really, really interesting is if I'm going to use a different color here. It's a pretty long line, but I'm going to draw a smaller line down here at the end. Pretty much like with about 1/5 all the way down there at the end. Anyone want to take a guess on what that line represents?
Under contract?
Pretty close. Back up just a little bit. Pretty close, though.
Attorney review.
We're getting further away. This is about the time that they start interacting with a real estate agent. So we have inception, closing, and this right here represents when they start working with a real estate agent. We have a really, really big gap right here. And then a really small one right here from the time they start working with a real estate agent by the time they get to the closing table. Any guess on how long this time is from this hash mark to this closing table?
Few months.
90 days.
It's about 7 to 10 months.
Oh.
7 to 10 months. Now that includes, signing a buyer brokerage agreement, meeting to do a buyer or listing consultation, then going through all the things like meeting with attorneys and going through inspections and escrow and earnest money and all of those things, but it's about 7 to 10 months. What's really cool about this, which I don't think that y'all see on a regular basis, is that we can pretty much break down the entire life cycle of what a real estate agent does in just 3 segments. Lead generation, this incredibly long lead follow-up process in between here, and then closing the transaction. Now, this is why I love being a coach. It's like, I know how hard all of you work, and I just put that down into 3 things. Think about all of the hours you spend lead generating, lead follow-up. And then once we go under contract, that little tiny blip on my map, I get to be a coach. I can just say, hey, that's just one of three things, but really there's like what, 75 to go into there. The amount of phone calls, the co-broking, the bulletproofing, the transactions, all the things you do there. But from a consumer perspective, which is what I really want you to think about today, we're just looking at these three things. I live in a home. I decide I don't want to live in my home anymore. I'm going to connect with a real estate agent, and then I close on a house. Three things from the consumer perspective. It's not a long timeline in the sense of we have a lot to do, but it's lead generation, lead follow-up, and we got to close. I'm going to go ahead and erase that. We're going to draw another diagram here. Actually, let me pause and ask a question. How does that make you feel when we draw that out? Any takeaways or ahas? And if you're driving, feel free to not participate. You get a pass.
It looks like it should be easy.
It looks like it should be easy. Why isn't it?
Because you don't have control over what's going on.
I'd argue that you have some control, right? We're not completely,
Right.
out of touch there. There are some things that we cannot control, but for the most part, we can create systems, right? It's really funny. I was just on a coaching call a minute ago with one of my clients, and we were discussing Chick-fil-A. Has anyone ever well, actually, let me backpedal. Have you ever been to a fast food restaurant, drive-through or other, and they said, "Hey, I need you to step aside, or I need you to pull over because, well, your food's not ready"? Does it only happen to me? Happen to anybody? Okay, I'm getting a couple head nods. Yeah. Literally happened to me yesterday. I took the family up to the North Georgia mountains, and we were just hiking and looking at waterfalls, and we were in the middle of nowhere. So our choices were either Subway or Burger King. We went to Burger King for lunch. And sure enough, I went through the drive-through, gave my order, paid, and then I had hey, I need you to pull up. In that moment, what happened? Why did I have to pull up?
Workload got a little backed up.
Oh, system.
Oh, somebody said it. Who said that? Speak up.
Some meeting about online leads. Made simplified. Yeah.
Heard a magic word. I heard somebody say systems. Who said systems? Burger King has a system. The system is taking an order, cooking a patty through the grill, throwing the food in the fryer. But ultimately what happened is the system broke. Burger King at any given time knows exactly how many fries that they need in order to serve the number of customers who go through on any given day of the week. They have that data. And what happened is that some person or something broke the system in which they did not have enough fries to service their customers at that given time. And that's why we get asked to pull forward. Has anyone ever had that happen to them at Chick-fil-A? Y'all have Chick-fil-A?
Our Chick-fil-A's have been constantly backed up since COVID hit. It's
Oh my
legit like
goodness.
a parking lot.
It may be so it may be slow to get your food, but have you ever been asked to step forward while we cook more fries for you? Okay. For example, for one time, I guess New Jersey's the Achilles heels of Chick-fil-A, but typically, like when you go to some restaurants, you know that you can expect certain things. I'm going to go through there and experience the same thing every time. So we got to do the same thing when we work with our leads, because we really do overcomplicate it. When I draw out this and I say, okay, we have to lead generate, we have to lead follow up, and we have to get to the closing table. That's no different than I need to take your order, accept your transaction, and then hand you your food. Now, there are a lot of things that complicate that in between, but if you have a system, you button those up. And oh yeah, by the way, one of the most important things that you can do to button that up is just over communicate. Hey, this is where we're at. Hey, this is a no update update. That's where you're going to get repeat and referral business. That's even way more magical than the online leads that we're going to jump into next. All right. But I just want to just kind of give you a greater scope of like, all right, when we get our online leads and we get them converted, we can simplify those things. It really isn't more complicated than just those three. But let's go ahead and draw this. I want you to draw out 3 circles for me. Kind of not like the Olympic rings, but pretty close to each other. I'm gonna draw it here, and then I'll show it. Just draw three rings or 3 circles. It should look like this. Okay. What these represent are just the 3 sources of online leads. I'm telling you, there's only 3 places that you can get leads from online. How many places can you get leads from in the physical world?
Many.
Millions, right? Not just many, millions. I can get them by throwing my headshot and contact information on a bus stop or a billboard. I can prospect, I can market. I can call for sale by owners and expireds. There's a million things that I can do to get a lead in the physical world. When it comes to the online, there's 3. 3. So let's walk through this. Any guesses? Let's get the energy up. Just go ahead and shoot some guesses. What do you think they are? Where can you get online leads from?
Social media.
Social media. That's my blue one. That's this one over here. So that's the one on my far right. Just for kicks and giggles, I'm just going to put in Facebook. I'm going to put in FB for Facebook, but you're right. It's social media, right? Yeah, there's Instagram, there's TikTok, there's LinkedIn, there's Twitter, but essentially it's social media. It's the big one. We're going to talk about the big players today. Where else? Where else can you get online leads?
PPC.
Say it again.
PPC, pay-per-click.
Pay-per-click. Yeah. Okay. So what's the biggest PPC source?
Say Zillow.
I was thinking a different one, but yeah, you nailed. Okay, so Chris, we'll jump to that one. Zillow's one.
Google.
There we go. We hit the trifecta. We got all 3. All right, so I'm gonna put Google in the middle. That's my red one. And then Chris nailed it. Zillow. Since this is be recording and I don't want to talk crap on Zillow, I'm just gonna put KW on that far left one. So it's gonna look like this. KW, Google, Facebook. But essentially we have your listing websites. This is where people go online to look at pictures of listings and houses. I wrote KW here, but most popularly, we're getting our butt cooked. It's Zillow. That's where our clients go. They go to Zillow. It could also be realtor.com. It could also be Trulia.com. It could be Redfin. It could be Berkshire Hathaway's website. But the goal here is that people are going to these websites and they are looking at listings. Zillow, Redfin, Trulia, Realtor. You know them. Google is Google, right? Google's the other one. It's the Goldilocks. I put it in the middle because it's the Goldilocks of online leads. I love that one the most. I would normally call this like just search engine. People are going here to type in homes for sale, in whatever area they're looking for, maybe a school district. I don't think that people search anywhere other than Google though, right? There was a point in time we could say Yahoo. There's a point in time we could say Bing, but ultimately this space is owned by Google. So we look at the big players. It's usually Zillow, Google, and Facebook is where we can get online leads. But to really break it down, our 3 buckets are listing sites, search sites, and social media. So can we treat all 3 of these the same? They're online leads. Why not?
Different levels of how far along they are with their search process.
Yeah,
They are.
that's number 1, right? So if we were to talk about that specifically then, on why they're all not created equally, number 1, as Chris just said, it's the amount of research that the consumer is doing. They're further in the process than anywhere else. So if we were to check a box, who would be the furthest along?
Listing sites.
Yeah, listing sites. Yeah, so underneath here, if you want to make a bullet point or like a pros cons list, this group has done the most research. Sorry for my bad small handwriting, but this group has done the most research. That means that these folks have probably already gone to Google. They have searched what town they want to live in, and they have narrowed this down to either a school district or even a cul-de-sac that they want to live on. They're at the point that they are now looking at houses online. On that little chart that we had of 7 to 10 months, they're pretty darn close towards the end of it. They've done everything except find the house. Okay. What about Google? In terms of research, where are they at?
The leading source.
Yeah, they're leading. But yeah, I would say that that's the space to where most people are getting started with research. They are going to Google to search for more information. It's the same reason why we go to Google. They're just going to Google to look up information about the house, but I would say that they're just starting their research. Just starting their research. What's great about knowing that a Google lead is just starting their research?
Probably haven't spoken to an agent yet.
Nailed it. Who said that?
Dorit. Hi.
Thank you. You crushed it. This is one of the pros that I like to write for this one. They have no representation. The chances of them working with a real estate agent are slim to none, considering that they don't even know where they're looking to live yet. What about with Zillow or those listing websites? Do they have representation?
Maybe.
Maybe. More likely than any of these other sources. So if we're comparing all three, I would say that absolutely Zillow is the most competitive. The most competitive. Without a doubt.
I'll move it over.
Because not only am I competing with somebody who is maybe on those sites looking at houses and maybe they do have representation, I'm also competing against Zillow itself. Majority of Zillow's business is from agents who've partnered with them. They make commission off of agents. I just spoiled my next question here, but how much does it cost to get a lead from Zillow or those other websites?
Hundreds.
I don't know what you're paying in my neck of the woods. It's thousands now.
Not paying anything.
Yeah, don't pay anything. Zillow used to be, hey, you'd pay a couple $100 a month and you would own a zip code. They've now changed to referral based. They kind of work like OpCity to where they now take 30 to 35% at a closing.
Wow.
Doesn't take much for that add up.
Love that.
Stupid expensive is what I like to put here. Very, very expensive to get those leads. What about Google? What's the cost to do a Google ad?
Yeah, as much as your budget can handle,
Yeah, that's-
really.
It's up to you.
I love Adele, but I missed it.
Up to you on what you want to spend. It fits within your budget. Generally speaking, like my sweet spot of advertising on Google, all systems go, no more than $250 a month. It's like the max I'd ever pay. The max. You can get some leads doing a lot less than that, but $250 or less compared to Zillow, which is thousands. And oh yeah, by the way, I'm competing with them all the time. Okay. We were talking about Facebook. Before I talk about Facebook, let's think about this for a second. Let's take our realtor hat off for a second. Please do this with me because I've learned it helps. Go ahead and imaginarily take off your realtor hat and just set it down next to you. Let's pretend to be consumers. Everyone good with that? Anyone like good at consuming? Oh yeah, Thanksgiving's coming up. I'm looking forward to consuming both at the kitchen table and on Black Friday deals. Let's consume. If I wanted to connect with an agent on the listing sites, in the search engine sites, How do I do that? At what point does an agent enter my world?
Oh. Well, depends which site. I mean, some of them say click, click here for contact, but you don't know who the heck you're getting. If you really want the listing agent, you got to do research on Zillow or Realtor or any of those.
Right.
Right. Fair enough. Is it easy to find an agent on either of these sites?
No,
I'd argue it is.
Yeah, but the
Yeah,
right,
I'm not saying the best agent or even the right agent for you, but is it okay to find any agent on either of those sites, Google or Google or Zillow?
any,
yeah,
Oh, if you have any questions about this, I challenge you, go log into Zillow as if you were to go look at houses. Go sign up as a consumer and see how many phone calls you get today. It'll be 3 agents and 2 lenders.
right.
You can trip and fall on an agent on Zillow. It's relatively easy. Google probably a little bit harder, but maybe I am searching. Maybe once I figured out what area I want to move to, maybe then I'm searching, okay, best agent in that town I desire to be in. But here's the thing, as a consumer, would I expect at some point, either on Google or would I expect at some point on Zillow to get contacted by an agent?
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm doing research in their space. I'm researching what areas I may want to live in, what school districts are great. I'm also researching maybe what houses I'm desiring, what price point I can maybe afford. But ultimately, I'm expecting that as a consumer, I'm somewhere inside this real estate space. I would probably expect to be contacted or have some type of contact with a real estate agent at some point. What about on Facebook?
I feel like
Yeah,
at that
that's-
point, you're like the curiosity stage. You might
Oh,
not
easy.
even know that you're ready yet.
Exactly. I'm running out of colors here, but let me just try. Let's go with orange. I'm going to draw a big old squiggly mark between Google and Facebook. It'll look like this. What that represents is that these 2 sources over here, your listings and your Google, we call this permission-based marketing. Permission-based marketing. That means that if I were to submit my information to Google while searching for homes, or if I were to submit my information to Zillow while searching for homes, I'm giving permission and I would expect to be contacted by somebody inside that profession, whether it be a lender, whether it be a real estate agent, but I'm expecting to have conversation there. This line is where Facebook crosses. This is called disruptive marketing. So you have permission-based marketing here, and you have disruptive marketing here. I love that word disruptive because it sounds really cool and also kind of crazy at the same time. But disruptive marketing means that as a consumer, again, I haven't put my real estate hat on yet. When I go to Facebook, I maybe on my phone, I'm scrolling through. I didn't open up Facebook with the intent to go look at houses or pictures of houses or to be contacted by an agent, right?
mhm.
So when we advertise on these spots, like Facebook or other social media, we're doing what's called disruptive marketing. We are disrupting their news feed, which isn't bad. It just means that if I'm not sort of purposely going to Facebook to look for an agent, then let's walk through this game. The amount of research a person has done on Facebook would be how much?
Could be none.
None, absolutely none. So no research. Okay. Do they have representation?
Probably not.
Absolutely not. Am I competing against other agents? No. How much does it cost me to run a Facebook ad?
Dollars.
It's the cheapest. Yeah, dollars. I love that. Some cases less than $1 to get a lead. But the key thing is I now know that if I know these things about these people, it gets really, really easy to communicate with them. All right, I'm going to put my realtor hat back on. Feel free to do it with me now. Let's go back into the physical world. Claire, I saw that. You thought it was crazy. It helps. I promise you, put the hat on. For sale by owners and expired listings. Why do we love them as real estate agents? Like, why do we tell all of our new agents who just are fresh out of real estate school, hey, if you want to be successful, just go call for sale by owners and expired listings?
Well, you know, they want to sell
How do we know that?
because they're advertising it.
How so?
Well, for sale by owner is letting you know they want to sell, hopefully. And an expired was already listed.
So what I'm hearing you say is they both have a sign in their yard that says, sell my house, please, somebody.
Yep.
If somebody won't do it, I'll do it in the case for sale by owner.
Mhm.
So and if we were to draw that same little diagram with the for sale by owner expired side by side, they'd probably look very similar, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, currently no representation. And they're ready to go. They're like ready to go. They're saying, please, someone sell my house. Or better yet, they're saying, someone please buy my house. That's what they're saying there. Now, as an agent, right, we're going to put our realtor hat back on. If I call a for sale by owner and I call an expired listings and I use the same exact system, what will happen? I'm going to be asking somebody to pull up while I get their fries ready. Something's going to break. Actually, something probably broke before I even got to that point because I can't use the same script with a for sale by owner as I can expired listing.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Well,
They
one
both have a sign in the yard. Go ahead.
oh, I was going to say one thing's they can do it themselves because it's easy, and the other one could be so fed up with us that they want nothing to do with us.
Yeah, one does not see the value in a real estate agent at all with a for sale by owner.
Yeah.
And then the other one, the next
burned.
agent has to make up for what that last agent couldn't do. Both kind of technically damage control for real estate agents. And yet I know, you know, as you just demonstrated, I can't use the same scripts, dialogues with those two lead sources. Same thing here. I really hope like I'm hammering it. I'm not trying to make this something you guys can figure out. Like I'm going to hammer this. These are all different scripts and dialogues. So whenever I coach and I train and I work with agents across the country who are having trouble with Facebook leads and online leads, I hear like go to the KW Command Facebook page and see how many people say like online leads are crap, Facebook leads are crap. Go to live code agents and see everyone say online leads are crap. Not crap. They're just different. What happened is somebody tried to use a for sale by owner script on expired listing, or in this case, they tried to use a Zillow script on a Facebook lead. Now, the goal in the topic of the class today is let's simplify this. Are you guys ready for the best Facebook script ever? Hey, Chris, this is Sam Jackson with Keller Williams. I was running an ad for my listing in Morristown. I know you're probably not in the market today. Just kind of wondering what caught your attention.
I like the photos that were used. The photos were really nice.
Chris, you're too kind. I'm gonna take you out of this equation for a second here. There's a good chance that the person that you're talking to on the other line, they were probably on the toilet while using Facebook when they became the lead. There is a 50% chance they were in the bathroom when they became your Facebook lead. Let's be real.
Yeah.
They're gonna go, what? Chris is nice. He said, I like your pictures, but they're gonna go, what? I don't
Or
remember.
I clicked it on accident.
Yeah, you'll hear that. You'll hear that all the time. Yeah, I clicked it by accident, and they didn't. Like Facebook won't accidentally give us their information. Like they did go through it. They just didn't read the guidelines and policies that make them a lead. And yet the reality is that's the challenge. I think what happens is real estate agents will go into this with a Zillow script, which because we know it's super competitive and there's so much at stake here because they're really expensive leads, I got to come in aggressively and say, hey, Chris, this is Sam Jackson with Keller Williams. I had a listing posted and I want to see if you want to go look at it on Saturday. And they use that tone with a Facebook lead because that's a tone that they usually have on Zillow and it doesn't work. Facebook's like Matthew McConaughey, stoner chill. Like, hey, I know you're not in the market to look at my home, but it'd be a lot cooler if you did. Like, how can I help you?
Hmm.
There's been just bad real estate instruction that said speed to lead, speed to lead, speed to lead, speed to lead. And a lot of times we think speed to lead doesn't just mean that we have to call them quickly. Speed to lead means we have to convert them quickly. Ideally, we do. It would be nice. But in this case, with Facebook leads especially, speed to lead means I got to get to them quickly. I probably have to follow up with them a bunch. They're not moving nearly as fast as I am. They were on the toilet. I disrupted
Mhm.
their news feed. They were not going to Facebook while brushing their teeth. Make this clean. Just be doing some other things in there. They did not go to Facebook while in the bathroom brushing their teeth to go be contacted by a real estate agent today. What happened is you created a really compelling ad that captured their information appropriately, and they didn't even know it happened. So the script goes, the dialogue goes, excuse me, I'm gonna correct my language. The dialogue goes, this is Sam Jackson with Keller Williams. You have to identify your brokerage, right? I know you're not in the market to buy some of us in real estate, but I was running an ad for my listing in Morristown. Kind of wondering what caught your eye. Another way to say it is what made you click on the ad. But I'm my goal, my only goal in that first call is to build rapport, trust, and respect. I'm Sam Jackson with Keller Williams. Identify your brokerage that you're a real estate agent legally. You clicked on my Facebook ad. I'm letting them know where I got their information from. Don't skip that part because it's probably the most important part as a consumer that they want to hear. They don't care what your name is and what brokerage you're with. They want to know, why is this person calling me?
Mhm.
I got your information from a Facebook ad that I ran in your area.
Could I ask you a question?
Please.
Yeah, so every time I run a Facebook ad, which is not much, and I run it for 15 miles, what Facebook doesn't let you do, I guess, 1 mile, 2 mile with
Nope.
command.
Nope.
So I think the minimum's 15. So every time I run an ad, the only responses I get are people like from Syracuse, New York, another country, whatever. I mean, but far, far away. And every time I call them and say that, they say, "Oh, I don't know what you're talking about." So how can we fix that? And Chris has helped me, run an ad. So
Cool.
I don't understand why that happens.
Yeah. So think like a consumer. Imagine. So let's. Oh boy, this is my favorite game here. In your time, we won't do it on today. Just do a quick Google search that says real estate agents are, and then
Are?
watch what Google fills in for the rest of that statement.
Say it again, Google.
Just Google the term real estate agents are, A-R-E, and then watch what Google tries to complete for the rest of that. It's not fun.
Google agents are?
Real estate agents are.
Oh, okay.
Here, let's just do it. I'm gonna share screen. Let's jump into it.
Well, he says a lot of terrible things.
Yep, real estate. I'll get all caps on.
We're parasites? That's terrible.
Interesting.
Real estate agents are. Here, let me go full screen with this for y'all so you can see this in the back of the room. I did that in the right spot. Parasites.
Oh, no.
Independent
Greedy.
contractors are usually paid by the buyer. A ripoff, are overpaid, are greedy, are typically what kind of agent? Are obsolete.
Liars.
God.
Hey, can I ask a follow-up question?
Yeah.
So I put my listing on Facebook or an open house, but I don't know what that has to do with this because the people who are clicking on it, when I get their information, they're from Syracuse, whatever, and I'm in Nutley, New Jersey, which is
Not
probably,
Syracuse. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. You're from New Jersey or?
I'm from Pennsylvania. Yeah, I know the
Okay.
territory. It's not, yeah, it's close.
Allentown, Bethlehem. So I don't, again, I don't mean to be abrupt, but I'm just confused and frustrated on how this has to do with Google because they're
Yeah.
clicking on my ad and I'm getting their information through command.
I got you. I got you. I think you have two issues, right? The first one was I think we need to probably figure out your targeting, and we can work on that one. If you want to send me a couple copies of your last ads, we can take a look at those. And I know Chris is more than equipped to help with this too. He's phenomenal. Maybe get with him and schedule that out. But the other point I wanted to make is your follow-up question to that was when I call them, like, you don't really answer me, right? They're like, I don't know what you're talking about.
No, they're from Syracuse and they say, I don't know what you mean about Rutherford or Nutley, New Jersey, or if I was in Allentown, Pennsylvania. They don't
Okay.
even, they never clicked on it, they say. So maybe they clicked on it by mistake, but I
They-
don't know. Why would
yeah.
they get that? Why would they even get the ad if my targeting is 15 miles in a radius?
Yeah, that's kind of tricky. Without seeing your ads, it's gonna be hard for me to really pinpoint an answer to that one. I'd be more than happy to do that with you.
Do you think there's an answer?
Yeah, oh, for sure. There's always an answer. Yeah. So something's either messed up with that individual's Facebook to where they're showing that they're in a city they're not, or something on our end with the targeting. But yeah, you can almost always figure out something.
Okay,
Um,
thank you
But
so much.
the second part of that too is, if you get that that script for your consumers and they say, hey, I'm not interested, or I don't know, I'm not in an area. Like we belong to Keller Williams, right? Like we have agents all over the world. I wouldn't let hyper local situations like this stop me from servicing a lead in Allentown or Syracuse or anywhere else, because you have the largest referral network than any other brokerage.
Well, I do that, but then
Yeah.
they say, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm not looking for a house. I don't want to buy a house. I don't want to sell my house. I'm just telling you, and then I get like, yeah, they
Yeah,
just,
so let's work through that, because that's actually the direction I want to kind of take this in within too, because you're going to get, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't click on it. I don't remember clicking on it, and that's okay. So what I wanted to kind of prove with pulling up Google is that people don't think highly of real estate agents based on what we know. Like consumers are going to pretty much try and brush you off like they would a used car salesman.
Mm.
I'm not trying to stab you in the front. Excuse me. I'm not trying to stab you in the back. I'm trying to stab you in the front here. It's a reputation that we have as an industry. Just be mindful of it. So when they first hear that we're with real estate, there's going to be a wall that goes up. Automatically or not, there's going to be a wall that goes up with them that says, hey, I don't want to talk to a salesperson. So the way that we get around that is are you okay to kind of role play that?
well, to be honest with you, I prefer not to, because no disrespect, but I really disagree with that, because none of them know that they clicked on the ad, and they're adamant about it.
Yeah.
Or they live far away. I don't know how that would relate to a real estate agent. Like I don't believe they're gonna think a bad thing about real estate agents if they were interested in getting more information on the house, because they clicked on the ad. So they know they call it that it's a real estate ad, and that agent would follow up. They know.
That's what I'm arguing, is they don't.
Well, I respectfully disagree, but that's
Yeah,
okay.
that's okay. Let's talk through that. So when we create a Facebook ad and you did it for an open house, right? Did you have a really nice picture on that ad?
Yes, I
Is it a really
did.
nice looking property?
Yep, I believe Chris did it, and maybe not. Chris I used to be in Rutherford, so I don't
Okay.
even know how to do it. So
So when you go to Facebook, do you do more looking at pictures, or do you do more looking like reading text? Personally,
the text is on there though.
text is on there, but you're not reading it, are you? For the most part, no. I mean, consumers in general, that's why like TikTok has blown up the way that it has. It's gotten more people off of Facebook and Instagram because it's just video, which is even more engaging than the photos that we see on Facebook. So a lot of times it's not what we say in our ads, it's the picture that we have that's up there that gets people to click. So this is usually what the mindset of a Facebook lead occurs. They're in the bathroom, they pull up their phone, they're scrolling through, they go, ooh, look, a pretty house. They click their thumb 2 more times, and then all of a sudden they're now onto your website looking at the rest of the pictures of that house. But those 2 clicks of the thumb where they agree to the terms and they share their contact information with you is the part where it doesn't even connect to their brain. That's the part where they're not realizing they're becoming a lead.
Yeah, no, I
They even
know.
gave their contact information.
But here's the thing. They shouldn't even see the pictures of the ad because it went out to 15 miles in the demographics.
Yeah, well,
That's
I'll work with
possible.
you offline on that one because, like, again, I can't
I'll
help
pro-
unless I see that. We have to play around with it a little bit.
I'll probably go to our market center. That's okay.
Yeah,
And again,
okay.
I don't mean to be fresh, but it's frustrating. And
It is frustrating. Yeah,
you know,
it's absolutely frustrating. When you're putting your own money out there as somebody who's investing marketing in their own business, you want to hold every dollar accountable. So I would be equally frustrated that it's not working the way you'd expect.
yeah, I just don't want to
get it.
come off the wrong way.
No, that's
Just
okay.
like,
Even
to
though
interject,
Huh?
just to interject for a second, there's millions of people on Facebook, and I could have easily moved in the past year or two and still have my information set to a specific area that I don't live in anymore. So you got to think of it that way. There's millions of people on Facebook who don't update their profiles ever. So it could be also that as well, just to kind of take into account.
So that's a good follow-up point for me, because I searched their phone number and I find that they never live 15 miles from me. I get like 3 or 4 last addresses and their name that was on Facebook with other software. So
Did they recently fly through one of your major airports?
I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is like you can play that game all day long. But what's really valid in everything you said too, that I think would impact everybody in this room, are the same objection handlers that we get, which is I don't remember clicking on it. That, like, the geo tracking issue, the 15 miles, like that like that's a whole separate issue. But what you brought up will still happen even if we get that all worked out. People aren't aware that they clicked on an ad. 100% they're not aware, right? They're brushing their teeth.
Do you think we'll ever get to less miles, like 5, 4 with Command, 3?
No. In fact, this is why I love Command. Just a real quick side note. So about 2 years ago, Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook had to go sit in front of Congress for that very reason. Facebook, before those guidelines were put in place, you could easily single out a single mother of Eskimo descent with 7 kids in Nebraska, Iowa, or Omaha, or whatever city that's in.
It's amazing.
Who's into fly fishing.
Amazing.
Facebook has all of this data on everybody to where we could get really, really specific what we're allowed to do. And, equal housing opportunity is the thing that we have here in real estate. Thank God. Congress was actually smart enough to say, hey, you're giving people way too much freedom in advertising that it's actually breaking a lot of discriminatory laws. So the new guideline is that, and even on Facebook, you should not be allowed to go less than 15 miles.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting.
And if you do, you're breaking fair housing.
You think that changed in the last 2 years?
About roughly 2 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I ran an ad and
Oh, you could absolutely. You could do whatever you wanted back then.
Facebook, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's interesting. Thank you. That's interesting. That's great. That's great.
There are still ways around that on Facebook. That's why I love doing those ads in Command, just to give a prompt for that, because those bumper guards are in place. Like, you are not going to get thrown in like actual jail for breaking fair housing because we have those guidelines up, those guidelines up inside of Command.
And let me ask you this, and are you really good with SEO? Or let's say we hired an SEO person, like to get us up on the list for that ad or whatever. Do you know how much that would cost a month if we did 2 or 3 ads, or even getting ourselves, or, that's just.
Yeah, so that's kind of a whole separate conversation.
Yeah.
Just a personal opinion. I'm in the camp of SEM, which is search engine marketing versus search engine optimization. Again, just like a few years ago, Google changed the way they operate. They changed their algorithm, that they know that companies like Zillow and big brokerages, tend to give them more money and more traffic online. So even if you were to just invest a ton of money into SEO, you still wouldn't be enough to beat Google's algorithm, because they know who gets traffic to their websites and they're going to reward Zillow. That's why, like, if you just do the most basic search, it's always the top 5 that are on every single city.
Great.
It's hard for the small guy to get up on there. So SEM, which just means I have to pretty much pay to be the first guy up there.
Yeah, I got you. Sorry, guys. I just had a
Yeah.
lot of questions.
That one's relevant.
I
Good question. That's part of
apologize.
Google. Yeah.
I apologize to the other people. I hate when people monopolize the conversation.
What did you say that
All good. All
Yeah.
good. But like coming full circle with this, that is the script you will hear. I did not click on an ad. I had no idea. So here's how I handle that. Hey, totally get it. Because I know you're not in the market to go look at homes. I think I just got you with this really nice listing that I have in Morristown. And then I open up into whatever your go-to question is from there. Are you looking at houses? If you were to move, like when would you move? That's when I just go through my series of open-ended questions that just keeps the dialogue going. Because if I accept the fact that they say, I don't remember clicking on an ad, I just wasted my shot.
Right. That's good. That's good. That's good stuff. Yeah.
It's the equivalent of like whenever I walk into Macy's or whatever store you guys buy clothes at, and I see a salesperson says, "Can I help you with anything?" Nope, just looking. Just truthfully, when they were on Facebook, they were just looking. Like they're not come looking for me; they were looking for something else.
So
And
true.
I'm showing up as that person at the front says, "Hey, can I help you with anything?" So do not get out scripted. If you end that call and you didn't get any information about them, this is where I'm going to stab you in the front again because I want to help you. You got out scripted.
Yep. I agree. Now that you bring that up.
Oh, no, just looking. Great. That's exactly what my website is for. What are you looking for? Oh, I don't know. I already have an agent. Great. What is their name? I'm sure that you have that training from productivity coaching and other training inside of Keller Williams that you guys know those questions. But if you want to role play that, if anyone wants to take a challenge at like pretend to be a Facebook lead, I'd be more than happy to walk you through that because I think it's good to hear that out loud sometimes. Anyone want to step in role play? I'll let you be the Facebook lead or the agent, your choice. You learn more as the agent. This is a safe space.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Cool. And I'm so sorry because I can't see Zoom. What is your name, sir?
Oh, it's Mike.
Mike?
Germina. I'm putting my camera on.
Cool. It's okay because I'm not going to see you on my Facebook call anyways. Hey, Mike, this is Sam Jackson with Keller Williams. I was running a Facebook ad in Roswell and you happen to kind of come across as someone who clicked on that ad. Just kind of wondering, are you in the market to look at homes? And be mean to me, Mike.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm a local real estate agent here. I'm actually one of the local experts in the Roswell area, and yeah, I'm running an ad. I just took a new listing up the street, and I think I got your information. Well, I know I got your information from Facebook. I don't know if maybe you clicked on it by accident, but I got your information from that. I know it's a really, really gorgeous modern. I'm trying to think of what local architecture you guys have. We have a modern farmhouse here on an acre. Is that something that caught your eye now that I've said that out loud? Does that ring a bell?
I mean, I don't want to put you in a bad spot. I mean, I could say yes, but
No, be mean to me. Like be mean to me, please.
no, it's like I
You're
didn't
gonna
click,
get it.
I didn't click on any ad. I don't know about any farmhouse. I don't even know why you're calling me.
Yeah, you know what? And I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm just a local real estate agent here. Like I said, I have a new listing and I run a Facebook. I run them actually kind of constantly to help promote my sellers. My sellers love it whenever I get 5,000 views to their homes is from marketing from those Facebook ads. But yeah, it could have just been by kind of crazy chance. But Facebook's really good at authenticating, making sure that and you are Mike, right? Like I do have the right person.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah. So Facebook kind of gave me that information moving forward. And again, you're probably not on the market, but maybe it was your subconscious that clicked on it. Are you on the market for a home?
Well, not right now.
Okay. If not right now, anytime in the future, like what's your timeline look like?
I mean, let's see, I want to get out of Syracuse. It's too cold up there, and I don't know. This may be my last winter, but we'll see.
Yeah. I don't blame you. I hear that Syracuse is one of the top outdoors cities in the country, but boy, it's probably hard to do that just 3 months out of the year, right? That cold would be Let's just leave it behind. Where would you move to, Mike? We're looking at Florida or somewhere else?
Well, to be honest, I really want to go to Florida, but my wife hates it that hot. So we're gonna look around maybe for a condo in Myrtle Beach, around that area, South Carolina.
Excellent. Hey, Mike, are you a mobile phone guy? Do you use apps on your phone?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Hey,
up
I'm
there.
gonna text you a link. It's for my personal KW app. So it's through, my company is Keller Williams. But it's a KW app that gives you access to all of the different locations in the United States and even abroad. So it sounds like you haven't quite narrowed down your search. So if you're looking at Myrtle or Florida or anyone else, I have one app that lets you search all those places at once. Would it be okay if I text you my link?
Oh yeah, you know what? That's a great idea. Sure, text it to me.
Cool. And oh yeah, by the way, just want to confirm, like this is the right number, the same number I called you on, I got from Facebook. This is the best one to text you.
Yes, that's my
Cool.
mobile.
Cool, Mike. Online is a strange place. I just want to make sure that you know that like your information secure with me. This is specifically my app. I know a lot of times when you go to those sites like Zillow or those other places, when you sign up to be a lead or you sign up for more information, they then give your info to like 5 or 6 other people. I'm not going to do that to you.
I appreciate
So
that.
if you download my app, there's the button now that says contact Sam. When you're ready, I'm not going to bug you. Maybe I'll check in with you occasionally, but I'm not going to harass you and say like, hey, let's go look at mortgages and everything else until you're ready. Does that sound good?
Yeah, because I get agents knocking on my door, calling me 3 times a month to sell my house, and
Agents are parasites, right?
yeah, they're parasites. All right.
Yeah. I'm kidding. Cool. All right, Mike. Well, look for that text. And again, if you need anything, just go ahead and download that app. Or you have my cell phone too. If you need anything, just give you the personal touch. But that app's going to be one of your one-stop shops for literally anywhere. If you decide you hit the Powerball next week and want to move to Bali, I got you. Okay.
All right. Thanks, Larry. Have a good day.
Thank you.
I called you Larry. I was just
That's all
messing
good.
around.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
So the flow of that conversation, there's that turning point, right? Whenever I get over the objection of how did you get my information? It turns from, okay, once I'm over that hump, we can just talk real estate and qualifying all day long.
Yeah, I think you did great. I think you did great. So good.
But it's just having a few of those things in your back pocket of like, all right, how do I get over the hump there? How do I cross that line from this person has no idea why I'm contacting them, and I just built trust.
Yeah, that's good.
Now, Mike, you intended to be a little bit hostile there to start. I think you did a great job. I think what you role played is probably what you will see with Facebook leads.
No, that's good stuff. I
Yeah.
think you originally you could have took me as just not interested and getting a little hostile, and then your mindset could have been, well, this person's this, let me move on. But I think with the mindset you have, and that's something I have to concentrate on, or your mindset was great.
The goal with every conversation is just asking really powerful questions.
Can I ask you a question?
Please.
So would your answer have been sort of the same in terms of, saying that the information is, only with you, if they would have immediately said, when you asked about the app, well, that's okay. I've got Zillow. I don't mind looking online. I don't really need an app.
Yeah, that's okay too. Well, yeah, I think the goal there is I felt the reason why I led with the script of going, and I don't always go down the app path, but for someone who didn't trust me as an online lead, I felt like building greater online trust was probably the goal there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right? He's like, hey, I don't know how you got my information. Well, here, I care about this too, because when you download this app, it's just me. Like, I'm a trustworthy guy and I'm not going to sell your information. So I want to point out that other apps do that because he just experienced that through Facebook more or less.
Right.
Now, in any given moment, I may not go down that path. I may go into more pre-qualifying questions. I may ask more about like motivation. So when he says like, okay, I might be looking to move to Florida or Myrtle, I may go down the path of more about motivation than I would the app. So in that path, I would say like, okay, what's important to you about Myrtle or Florida?
Warm weather.
So, yeah.
Okay. So, and here's another model I can give you all if you're good running over a smidge. If we're exactly 1 year from now, or excuse me, let's just fast forward 14 months from now, and you're buried in another 3 feet of snow, how would you feel? We're not only a year older, we've gone around the sun one more time. We're also really far from it because we have 3 feet of snow in our driveway.
Like I should have moved.
Yeah, you take it. That's good. I don't want to talk about that.
Great. So tell me then, by moving to Florida and Myrtle, what's that really mean for you? And then I get to his motivation. What's really cool about that, Chris, can I give her like 5 minutes? Cool. If everyone's okay with that, because I think it's gonna be really important recording. I did not intend to go down through
Yes,
this, but
great.
this is a maps model that I use religiously. It's called the Four Quadrants. Chris, you familiar with this one? This is like a, oh, man, it's like mind control. All right. All right, so the Four Quadrants looks like this. And it helps me, I write this kind of in my notebook as I need to. So it stands for positive present, negative future, and positive future. And the goal is that you want to do this in counterclockwise. So I'm going to start in positive present and go this way. This is how you get people to act in emotion. You guys are in bold, right? What's the bold law? Logic makes us think. Emotions make us act. Logic works, right? Like, or sometimes it works. We tell people, hey, now's the best time to buy, sell, invest in real estate because either one, inventory is as low as it's ever going to be, and this is the best time to sell your house, or hey, interest rates are the best they've been, and they're only going to get worse. So like, you got to buy now. Like that's the logic that we use. These four quadrants is how you get to the emotion that people actually take action. And I'm going to walk you through that Syracuse, Florida thing that we just did. Hey, tell me all the things you love about Syracuse. And I could have started that dialogue by kind of giving an appetizer there to where I said, if you remember, hey, here's a great outdoors town. Do you love it for that? Or tell me what it is that you currently like about your current situation. It could be about their individual house, right? Tell me what you love about your house. Tell me if I could hand you a magic wand and you could change one thing about your life, your home style, or your home or whatever, what would that be? That's going to take us to negative present. They're going to tell us all the things they don't like right now. And the magical question to go from negative present to negative future would be, what if nothing changes? I'm going to forecast that we just did a lap around the sun. We're 1 year away from where we are today. What if you're in the exact same situation? That takes them to the negative future. The hardest part about getting people to negative future is shutting up. Sit here and be quiet. And then be quiet longer than you think. Be quiet and be quiet and then be quiet on top of that. Because silence, the longer we're in negative future and people are thinking, oh God, I'm a year older. It's another year of shoveling my driveway. It's another year of waking up an extra hour early just so that I can go to my job I don't like. Yada, yada, yada. If we're silent and we're not asking questions and filling the void, all of that's going through their head. It just snowballs into like, no pun intended, it snowballs into a bigger and bigger problem if they're a year and they're thinking about their problems. And that's when you ask the question, okay, so really, what would moving to Florida mean to you? And that's where they start dreaming about all the different lifestyles that they would have. What would you do with that extra 15 days that you spend shoveling a driveway in Syracuse? Like, what would you do if I could give you that time back? Because like those hours add up. You spend 15 days of your life snow plowing every year. Like what you spent like 1/80th of your life just shoveling snow. What if you didn't have to do that anymore? But take them to the positive future. And this is where like it's the emotion that people will go through. They'll make any decision. Use this with your listings that need a price reduction. Use this with your buyers that are on the fence. Or in my case, I use this with my daughter who wouldn't eat her vegetables. Samantha, that's my daughter's name. What did you like about tonight's dinner? And she jumped straight to, I don't like anything about tonight's dinner. Okay, well, like, what did you specifically not like about tonight's dinner? I don't like the green beans. Well, Samantha, why do we eat green beans? Because they make us big and strong, they make us healthy. Well, what happens if you grow up, or what happens if you're 34 instead of 4 and you're still this big your entire life? What if you need daddy to help you turn on the light switch because you never ate your vegetables and never grow? How'd that make you feel? Okay, well, if we eat our vegetables, though, it make you grow big and tall. What happens whenever you grow big and tall? What are all the things you can do? I'm telling you, it was the hardest I ever had to coach in my life. I had to go through this 4 or 5 times. But this will literally help people get to the emotions that take action. It's not a script, it's a model. You can use this with your Facebook leads. You could use this with these Zillow leads. You can use them with your kids. That model, my goodness, like study that. It's beautiful.
What was it called again, that model?
I call it the 4 quadrants.
4 Quadrants.
I believe that's what it's called inside of maps as well.
That was good stuff, brother.
It is good.
Yeah.
Is this recorded or is it says recording? Where could we find it? Is it a couple days, Chris? Or oh no,
I'll
Reese
have
is
it on
too.
YouTube for us later. Yeah.
What, the BCP?
Yeah, and I can send the link out to anybody.
Yeah, please.
Thank you.
That
So
was
the-
good. That was a what do you call them? A light bulb or an aha moment.
Yeah. That is.
I'll put a bow around it then. If you can get over the hump that we discussed about the mindset of the leads and why you're contacting them and where you got their information from, if you implement that, game over.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you too, you're not going to find a smart plan that does that.
Yep. You could do that for any lead, like, door knock, a FISBO, what, that's great.
Yep.
Just a geo. That's great, man.
Cool.
I
All right, I want to
take-
be mindful of your time. Thank you for allowing me to go over 7 minutes. I apologize for that, Chris. I know I said I'd go less than that, but good dialogue, as I appreciate it. I'm going to drop my contact information in the chat. If you guys have any questions, again, I offer it anytime. Nobody ever takes me up, but if you need anything from me, please reach out. But
Thank
do not
you.
pick it up, leave a voicemail or shoot me a text.
You were awesome.
Thanks a lot.
You were awesome.
Appreciate that. Thank
so
you.
much.
You guys are awesome. Thanks for participating.
Have a great-
Alrighty, thanks a lot, Sam.
Thanks for having me, Chris. Appreciate you.
You
See y'all.
got it. Have a good day.
Have a happy
Take care.
Thanksgiving.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Have a great day,
See
everybody.
y'all.
Bye-bye.